calling this the Chinese virus. Your own aide, Secretary Azar, says he does not use this term. He says ethnicity does not cause the virus. Why do you keep using this? A lot of people say it's racist.
It's not racist at all, no, not at all. It comes from China. That's why. It comes from China. As you know, China tried to say at one point, maybe they stopped now, that it was caused by American soldiers. That can't happen. It's not going to happen, not as long as I'm president. It comes from China. Amazing. So it's really a fantastic thing. So what I think I do is I'd like to, for the media, I'd like to go around the room and we can do just a quick introduction of each other. And I'll start with me. My name is Donald John Trump. I'm President of the United States.
Mr. President, it's an honor. You truly are the best president since Abraham Lincoln.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Sure.
Last week you claimed that you're in charge of everything, yet the American people don't understand why you're unwilling to use the awesome powers of your presidency to make American companies manufacture the PPE and also the testing equipment that you need to implement your recommendations.
I know, but who are you
on
with?
I'm with TMN. Recommendations for
TMN. What is
Talk
TMN?
Media News.
What?
My name is Doug Christian with Talk Media News. Yes.
Talk Media News.
Yeah. And
Go ahead, keep reading your question.
the thing is how to make companies build these testing equipment so that you can do what you want.
Well, we're doing that right
recommended.
now. We're doing it. We're doing it right now with ventilators. We have General Motors. We have General Electric. We have 11 different companies, great companies, building them for us all over the United States. We're starting to make our own gowns, as they call it. We're making some incredible things. And as far as the testing is concerned, most of that now is done in the United States. We're doing it in the United States, our different platforms. And so I just don't think you were listening.
Senators were complaining to
Which senators?
to Vice President
Which
Pence
senators?
yesterday.
Which senators?
Independent Senator Angus King.
He's not an independent, okay? Angus King is worse than any Democrat. Go ahead.
But he said that he was livid, actually.
Of course he said that, because he's a Democrat, okay? Angus King is not an independent. He uses that term for whatever reason. It's a waste of time.
But he's not a very emotive type
Oh,
of
yes,
senator.
he is. You haven't seen him, okay? You haven't seen him. No. Angus King is a Democrat, and that was totally staged. I heard that, and it was totally staged. Just like you read the question, he read his question. Yeah, please, in the back. You know, they say I'm close to Russia. Hillary Clinton gave away 20% of the uranium in the United States. She's close to Russia.
Can we?
You know what I gave to Russia? You know what I gave? Nothing.
Can we conclude there'll be no response to these particular provocations?
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you anything about what response I do. I don't talk about military response. I don't say I'm going into Mosul in 4 months. We are going to attack Mosul in 4 months. Then 3 months later, we are going to attack Mosul in 1 month. Next week, we are going to attack Mosul. I don't talk about military, and I don't talk about certain other things. You're going to be surprised to hear that. And by the way, my whole campaign, I'd say that. Right. So I don't have to tell you. I don't want to be one of these guys that say, yes, here's what we're going to do. I don't have to do that. I don't have to tell you what I'm going to do in North Korea. Wait a minute. I don't have to tell you what I'm going to do in North Korea. And I don't have to tell you what I'm going to do with Iran. You know why? Because they shouldn't know. And eventually you guys are going to get tired of asking that question. So when you ask me, what am I going to do with the ship, the Russian ship as an example, I'm not going to tell you. But hopefully I won't have to do anything, but I'm not going to tell you. Okay.
Thanks.
Can I just ask you, thank you very much, Mr. President.
Where are you from?
BBC.
Okay. Here's another beauty.
It's a good line. Impartial, free and fair.
Yeah, sure.
Mr. President.
Just like CNN, right?
On the travel.
Why are there no consequences for China for the misinformation
How do you know
that
there
they
are no
shared?
consequences?
We've been asked, and
How
it
do you
appeared
know
that
there are no
were
consequences?
What are the consequences, Mr. President,
I
for the
wouldn't tell you.
misinformation?
China will find out.
But
Why would I tell
People
you?
are concerned that they stonewalled.
No, you started off by saying, why are there no
You've
consequences?
asked this a few times, so follow up on your response. Why are there no
How do
consequences
you
for
know
China?
there are no
Because
consequences?
you've asked Stu,
You're
and
going to
you've
find
said-
out.
you've said
I
that you
wouldn't
didn't
tell
want
you.
to-
You'd probably be the last person on earth I'd tell.
There will
Go
be
ahead.
consequences.
President, overall, South Korea has done 5 times more tests than the U.S. per capita. Why is that?
I don't think that's true.
That is true, and you said this morning that the White House said the U.S. passes South Korea in virus testing.
Who are you with?
Yahoo News, and it's not true per capita.
Do you want to respond to that? If you have the numbers with that?
So to our Yahoo gentlemen, I just want to make it clear that South Korea's testing was 11 per 100,000, and we're at 17 per 100,000. So
Are you going to apologize, Yahoo? That's
I
why
mean,
you're
if
Yahoo,
that's-
and nobody
if
knows
that's
who the hell you are.
correct.
Go ahead.
Mr. President, one for you and potentially as well one for you, Dr. Adams. Right now, the economy is essentially ground to a halt.
Thanks for telling us, we appreciate it.
Stores have closed, travel has slowed down.
Go ahead, what's the rest of your question? We know.
We got some beauties. We got Sleepy Joe, we got Crazy Bernie, we got Mini Mike, but I think he's out of it. And that was probably the worst debate performance in the history of presidential debates. Do we agree? Has there ever been anything like that? It just shows you that you can't buy an election. I mean, there's a point at which people say, you got to bring the goods a little bit too. You got to bring the goods. Boy, did Pocahontas destroy him, I'll tell you. She choked. You know, she went out and got a test because I was killing her with a Pocahontas. Remember I said, I have more Indian blood in me than she does, and I have none. Right? I said it. I said it to her. Love to have some, but I have none. And she was getting hit with that name, Pocahontas. That was one of the good ones. And they said, we want you to apologize for that name. And I did. I apologized. Nobody ever heard me apologize before. I apologized. To the real Pocahontas, I apologize. But she was really mean to Mini Mike. I'll tell you, the way she treated her. He didn't know what hit him. He's going, oh, get me off of this stage. Get me off. Get me off of this stage. And, you know, I think they want to try and make a deal with us, but I'm not sure. They would like to see a new president in a year and a half so they could continue to rip off the United States like they've been doing for the last 25 years. They would love to see a guy like Sleepy Joe Biden, who has no clue what the hell he's doing. They'd say to Sleepy Joe, sir, just sign right there. Oh, okay. I'll sign. Yeah, go ahead. Sure. She's shocked that I picked her.
No.
She's like in a state of shock.
I'm not thinking, Mr.
That's
President.
okay. I know you're not thinking. You never do.
I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
Members of Congress are now being tested positive for coronavirus, and you have almost 24 who are self-quarantining. Do you have any guidance for Congress? Should they?
I know all of them, and I don't know if they're sitting like you people are sitting. You're actually sitting too close. We should probably get rid of about another 75, 80% of you. I'll have just 2 or 3 that I like in this room. I think that's a great way of doing it. We just figured a new way of doing it, but you're actually much too close. You know, you two, you should leave immediately. Well, the Washington Post is going wild lately. I don't know what happened to them. I guess something happened, like we don't call them back or whatever. These are very dishonest media sources. They're very dishonest. I like China, and I like President Xi a lot. I think he's a friend of mine. He may not be a friend of mine anymore, but I think he probably respects. From what I hear, if you look at Mr. Pillsbury, the leading authority on China, he was on a good show. I won't mention the name of the show recently, and he was saying that China has total respect for Donald Trump and for Donald Trump's very, very large brain. It amazes me when I read the Wall Street Journal, which is always so negative. It amazes me when I read the New York Times. Is not even, I don't I barely read it. You know, we don't distribute it in the White House anymore, and the same thing with the Washington Post. You had a lot of really nice people running our country over the years. Perhaps I'm not nice, but I'm doing a great job for you. Well, it's true. Well, he's got a bad habit. Ladies and gentlemen of Ohio, it's great to be with you. Joe, you're in Iowa. That was 7 times he's done that. I haven't done it once. And if I did, you know what I'd do? I'd walk off the stage because there's nothing you can do to come back from that. You know, he said the other night, this was really a beauty. Sleepy Joe. He said, guns have killed 150 million people in our country. We killed 150 million people. That's half of our population. This is a terrible event. We have to find out what's going on. This is bad. This wasn't reported by the fake news.
At what point in the future will any American who wants a test be able to get a test? Because you're talking about not needing a test right now if you're not showing any symptoms, but a lot of
Not
this
needing the test?
or only getting tested if you're showing symptoms, but a lot of this.
Well, no, you should only get. You should. I didn't have any symptoms and I got a test, but I got a test because you people were driving everybody crazy. So that's the only reason. I had no symptoms, but I had a test. My doctor told me, don't get it, you don't need it. Everybody said you don't need it, but I had to do it because the press was going crazy. And then after I got it, they said, you shouldn't have gotten it, you had no symptoms. You know, the whole thing. But I said to our great First Lady, I like calling her First Lady. I love calling her First Lady. Now see, when I have fun like that, you know what's gonna happen tomorrow? That'll be a headline. He calls her First Lady.